right?
I'm convinced the change in weather caused the Southville grape yields to plummet. So Lord Franz wanted to seize land in Northville.
I've tried those grapes, and they're really not very good. Who would buy them?
From my understanding, most of these grapes are purchased by the Adamant Syndicate.
Adamant Syndicate. Yes, I heard about them in the capital. A merchant guild that grew quite powerful recently.
Yes, the Adamant Syndicate is a famous merchant guild in Asperia. They've been looking to surpass us and establish a monopoly. In the past, the Mithril Consortium hardly took notice of them. But now, they're almost on even footing with us. It pains me to say it, but I must admit that they are extremely talented when it comes to doing business. I, however, have no interest in these grapes, as only the nobility can afford them. I only care about the wheat production in Northville. When the wheat is ground into flour and baked into bread, its deliciousness has the potential to reach every single home in Asperia. But with the weather growing colder by the day, there's no telling what will become of Ryham. It's possible that this year's harvest, however poor, was the final gift these lands had to offer.
No way! We're gonna put a stop to this crazy weather and bring the warmth back to Ryham.
That's right! And we'll start by finding the real culprit. Chippy won't forgive anyone who burns down the fields that Magister Merlin worked so hard to protect.
You two are awfully spirited today. We heard what the Furballs had to say. What do you think? Though I suppose anyone would be upset after seeing the destruction of something they once protected. Relax. Forget I said anything.
This is my battlefield!
Gallop Dawn!
Wash away all sorrows, Olin.
A perfect battle with a glorious victory.
my battlefield.
It's time to show you my moves.
Wash away all sorrows, Olene.
Come out, my servant, and fight for me!
Gallop Dawn!
Just as I expected.
Can you youngsters be a little more low-key? I remember your faces. You were there when we were putting out the fires. You're back here to investigate what happened, right? Hank is the only fisherman around these parts. He's got no interest in farming, so he spends his days fishing. If you want to talk to him, keep heading north along the river, and you'll find him up at the lake. Oh, poor Hank's been really worried lately, ever since this cold weather froze the lake over. I don't know the details. You'll have to ask Hank.
Magister, you absolutely have to try this. I've never had tastier bread in my life. The taste, the texture, the aroma, everything about it is perfect. Not even magic could make something this delicious.
Take as much as you'd like. My name is Truman, and I'm the chief of Ryham. Consider this a welcome, my travel-weary friends.
We're very grateful for the bread, Chief Truman. I can only imagine the complexity of the recipe required to make something this amazing. If you don't mind, could you share the exact formula with me? I need the flour-to-water ratio, proper kneading techniques, and the exact baking time.
You're getting ahead of yourself, young lady. This bread doesn't need a special recipe. The special taste comes from the wheat itself. Many years ago, the legendary mage Merlin saved Ryham from the clutches of Hypofiend. Fields. A powerful spell was cast, and the weather became as warm as autumn all year round.
But I don't sense any trace of magic in the bread at all.
That's because there are none in there. All Magister Merlin did was extend the comfortable season of autumn in these parts. These loaves of bread are the results of the hard work of our farmer and the gratitude we have for the great Merlin.
But those things wouldn't affect the taste.
I understand this. Where I come from, nature responds to the hearts of the people. The breeze we hear when we greet and embrace our loved ones is different from the breeze we hear when we say goodbye.
Ha! I don't understand what you're saying, young man. But I still remember the words Merlin said to me that day. He loved the sight of the autumn wind blowing through the waves of grain. He hoped it would never fade.
That's my role model. Words of poetry to my ears.
Really?
Before Lord Franz did away with Southville's wheat fields, this golden land was even bigger. If you'd seen it, you would know why Merlin loved the beautiful countryside around here. A pity Lord Franz replaced Southville's wheat crop with grapes. With how long I have left, I wonder if I'll ever see those golden fields again.
Now that you mention it.
Oh, come on. Don't forget what we came here for. We have to keep searching for who's behind the fire at Northville. Let's go.
Please let me join the investigation. These loaves of bread are the embodiment of Magister Merlin's compassion and the hard work and gratitude of the village. I won't forgive anyone who tries to destroy that. Please let me do something to help the place that Magister Merlin once protected.
Why do people keep looking for me? Before the fire, I have no idea what you're talking about. If you're here to interrogate me, just save your breath. I'm just a poor fisherman. Who would bother threatening someone like me? Of course not. Lord Franz is a generous man. He's even willing to help a penniless guy like me. Instead of pestering me here, why don't you go look around where the fire happened? If you find something, Lord Franz might even reward you.
What happened? Who's that? You were talking to him for a long time.
A fisherman. He knows something, but he doesn't want to talk.
Oh no. At this rate, the evidence may be covered in snow before we find anything. Weren't you investigating the strange weather in Ryham? Any progress? Do you think he knew you were investigating and is purposefully interfering? If so, someone else may have discovered your true identity. Along with the fire, it's possible that the falling snow was also part of their plan.
What are you whispering about?
Hey, keep those bunny ears out of our conversation. We don't have much time.
Oh, I was about to tell you all something, but after Lorson's interruption, I've completely forgotten what it was. I'm terribly sorry. You see, before you all arrived, I conducted an experiment here, and the results were completely beyond my expectations. In my experiment, I discovered that Merlin's ward is gradually weakening.
Weakening?
Yes. Not only that, I discovered that another maid attempted to restore the ward, but could not stop it from weakening.
No, no, no! How could this be?
Sir Chippy! As a member of the Lyceum, I would never report something unless I was sure. The magic felt brazen and hot, but determined. I have no idea who it belonged to. Whoever was trying to repair the ward was too forceful. It clashed with Merlin's magic. As a result, it showed very little effect.
Brazen hot magic. I wonder...
I was thinking the same thing. I'm no mind reader. Some things can be reasoned out. Also, after spending this much time together, I can guess what you're thinking.
Tell us, Balin. Who do you think tried to restore Merlin's ward?
Muriel, the Scarlet Sorceress. After being accused of starting the fire, she refused to explain why she was there. There must be something stopping her from telling us. If she was trying to repair the ward, she probably didn't want everyone to know that it was weakening.
I have no idea what any of you are talking about.
Chippy doesn't know either. Strange weather, the fire, the grapes, and now someone is trying to fix Merlin's ward. Oh no! Chippy's brain hurts. Chippy can't figure this out.
Right now, we're still missing that last piece of evidence. I have a feeling that everything will fall into place once we find the real culprit behind the fire.
Then what are we still waiting for? Let's hurry over to the scene of the fire and investigate.
Time to show you my moves.
Wash away all sorrows, Olraine.
This is my battlefield.
Lord Franz is in cahoots with bandits and standing in our way to the truth.
It looks like our hard work is starting to pay off. We're all thinking the same thing, right? This fire had nothing to do with magic or with any mage. Although fire elementals did appear, it was after the fire started. The fire may have attracted them. Someone else sparked the fire before they showed up. The real culprits were those people we saw in Southville before, Lord Franz's henchmen. Disguised as locals, they infiltrated the village and set fire to the wheat.
The villagers already had a poor harvest due to the cold weather. If Lord Franz burned that wheat, then what are the villagers supposed to sell? That's their only source of income. I can't believe he would resort to such underhanded means just to force Northville to plant his grapes.
I'm sure Lord Franz wouldn't just let us question him either. Hey, Lord Franz, what are you plotting? What nonsense are you spewing, insolent wretch? Guards, seize them! Yeah, if we want to avoid that, we'll need to approach things from a different angle.
I've made a preliminary analysis regarding this, if everyone will listen. The magic that surrounds Northville is as clear and pure as spring water, while the magic in Southville, on the other hand, is as thick and muddy as a swamp. The biggest difference between the two is their crops. I suspect that those grapes are responsible for polluting the magic in that area. To test my hypothesis, I'd like to return to Southville to gather some samples.
How are you going to do that when Lord Franz is guarding those grapes so closely? Unless... Miss Cassidy, don't tell me you plan on stealing some.
It's not stealing if it's for research purposes. Besides, I'm only doing this to get closer to the truth. I only need a single tiny grape. No one will ever know it's missing. Then I'll take my leave. May Dura protect you.
Sorry to interrupt, everyone, but I must be going. Muriel is still being held captive by General Hogan. I need to return to Hollistone and clear her of any wrongdoing. But more importantly, I need to apologize to her in person. Lord Franz was the real culprit all along. And I am partly to blame for all of the suffering she has endured.
General Hogan will want to know more about what's happening here. I need to make a trip back to Hollistone as well. Lord Franz will never admit to starting the fire. He holds a lot of power around here. Getting him to confess is something that needs to be discussed with the General. Thanks for the hard work. I'll treat you to whatever you want back in Hollistone. And don't worry, it'll be on the General's dime.